Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls 3. We're starting off today in the Cathedral of the Deep, so we can go and catch up with somebody.
Hello! Oh. I know that voice. Just how long has it been? It's me! Siegfried of Katarina! I'm loath to admit it, but I've been had. Someone's swiped my armor. Did you happen to see it anywhere? Oh, my armor. My deepest gratitude. I, Siegfried of Katarina, salute you. With my trusty suit of armor, I'll be out of here in a jiffy. Until we meet again, comrade.
Alright, great. We got Sigurd his armor back, and speaking of armor, did I show this off before? There's a Fashion Souls button now. We click R3. There's also some stats on the armor. Yeah. Some ancillary stats that I kind of meant to talk about before, but, you know, for the new blood, but I never had the chance to. You got caught up in other thoughts. Equip load is the ratio of how heavy your equipment is to the maximum weight you can wear before you can't roll anymore or run. If you're below a certain threshold, you do a faster roll with better invisibility frames. It's below 70% in this one. Above that, you fat roll. That's the basics of it. There used to be like really hard, harsh breakpoints that were less forgiving, but now there's a tiny bit of variation with each unit of weight you drop, but it's not terribly significant. Between 30 and 70%, you have full invincibility frames on your roll. Rather, you have the maximum number that you can get. And, oh, what a looker. What a looker. Irithyll of the Screenshot Valley. And if we peer off into the distance, we can see some pretty evocative architecture. Did those words even come out right, or did they just kind of mash together? Evocative architecture. We're gonna go some places later. But now we got this bridge. This place is so pretty. It's picturesque. It's like a beautiful moonlit painting. You hear that? Oh, Beastie appeared on the bridge out of nowhere. Yeah, let's now for the audio cue. Now you can run away from this thing. I wouldn't recommend it. You'll see why. It's very weak to bleed, which is why I have this Carthus curved sword out. It is also kind of weak to copyright infringement lawsuits, because this thing is ripped so completely out of the pages of Berserk. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. I'm also pretty sure this is using the model, like a modified version of the model from the Watchdog in the Chalice dungeon. And he drops the Pontiff's right eye. We previously got the left eye from transposing Bort's soul. Bewitched ring that Pontiff Sullivan bestowed upon his knights. Knights who peer into the black orb are lured into battles of death, transformed into frenzied beasts. No wonder the Pontiff only provides these rings to those dispatched to foreign lands. So that's the end game for the Outrider Knights. They go from looking like the Dancer to quadrupedal and bestial like Vort to that. And now, since we got the doll from the Deacon fight, we can cross this giant domed barrier that cuts the rest of Irithyll off from the bridge and from the Catacombs of Carthus and everything. So we're just gonna quickly gather up all this stuff around here, and we're gonna go back to the other end of the bridge real quick. And I lit that, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it's lit. This is also new, since I was speaking of some new features earlier. You can roll to a standstill now. And all you do to do that is you just stop holding forward on the stick when you make a jump. Or if you keep holding it, you do the roll out of the jump like normal. Oh shit, I did forget to light the bonfire, didn't I? Hold on. Whoops. There we are. Nothing a little bit of fast forwarding can't fix, and good. Okay, it did appear this time. So if you're following Cirrus's questline, this summon sign appears. And it's a unique summon sign because it doesn't summon Cirrus to you, it summons you to Cirrus to help her out. Now the next thing that we're going to show off is something that is definitely unintended, but awesome nonetheless, having to do with Sacred Flame. And Creighton is gonna graciously offer to help us demo it. Now we invoke the sun god Kotal Khan on your knees, and his sacrifice honors us. Thus is the power of Sacred Flame.
Thank you for your kind assistance. Blessing of the moon upon your journey.
So if you equip a big weapon like the Black Knight Great Axe, the Spiked Evangelist Mace, or the Farron Greatsword, and the White Hair Talisman in the other hand, and you two-hand the Talisman instead of your big weapon, and you cast Sacred Flame, it scales off of the AR and the number of hits that the riposte animation would do from your big weapon, and one-shots people. Why Creighton is back from Dark Souls 2 is a bigger mystery to me than why that bug exists, though.
I have not thanked you for your generous rescue. That dark spirit was one of Rosaria's fingers. Vile bastard offspring who lurk in the darkness. My sworn enemies. Fearsome invaders, to say the least. I would not have made it alone. You have my deepest gratitude. If you require help on your travels, I offer you my sign, Blessing of the Moon upon your journey. If you require...
Alright, so we get a Blessed Mailbreaker, and a Silver Cat Ring. Silver ring depicting a leaping feline prevents damage from falling. In the Age of Gods, or possibly just following it, an old cat was said to speak a human tongue, with the voice of an old woman in the form of a fanciful immortal. Chalquois Enchanté. Always use more references to that cat. Even Dark Souls 2 didn't have really much for her to do. So we get that, and we get a Creighton reference, which again, I don't get why you see her. So that's Sacred Flame Bug. God, that's so entertaining. I really hope that, like, even though it's gotta be unintentional, I hope they kind of leave it in, because that's tough to land. It's tough to land the Sacred Flame grab. Nice little Spectre. What I've seen people do is buff themselves with Perseverance or Iron Flesh to hyper armor through attacks and just land the grab that way. Okay, she's gonna spit some game at us. Keep note of this gate and the gibbering evangelist behind it. We'll be going back there later. These Pontiff Knights, they are not to be trifled with. One-on-one, it's fine. You can stagger them really easily because poise doesn't exist. 2-1-2, they become a real problem. Even if they just get you to block once or twice, they have these long twirling chains of like 6 or 7 hits they string together, and it gets nasty real quick. They can be extremely erratic. But the moment they start those long strings up, they break your guard so quickly. And they do a whole heap load of damage. Yeah, speaking of poise, that was another one of the armor attributes I've hit at a few times, but I never actually properly explained for people who are new to the game. Poise is supposed to stop you from getting stun locked. Like, it's a bit of hyper armor. It should be. And the more poise you have, generally, the less you should get staggered, especially by lighter attacks like stuff from a dagger or a rapier or an S-stock. That's how it was in the S1 and 2. And the item, the stat description for poise it reads basically the same in this game, but it doesn't work in DS3. It's completely broken. And Fromsoft representative a while back tweeted something like, hey, we're going to look into it. And then they just turned around and said, no, actually, poise is working completely fine. It's working as intended. And if it is, I don't know what the fuck the intention is supposed to be because it doesn't work the way it says it does. Whew, get out of here. Y'all got no poise. No one has any poise. Except for, Sorig. There are things that give you a little bit of poise. Like, there are things that act that way. Iron Flesh still does. Weapon arts like Perseverance still act like that. Certain Ultra Greatswords seem to have a couple of hits of armor. But the poise stat on armor itself doesn't appear to actually do very much. Unless it's one of those weird hidden stats like adaptability was in Dark Souls 2. Or rather, not adaptability, but agility. The thing that adaptability affected. Here, we're just gonna go for it with these two. Most of the time I would prefer to not have to fight them in pairs. Maybe they'll split off. If you just come up these stairs, just... Son of a bitch. Couldn't split them up. It was what, one hit? Half a health bar. One or two. Let me switch weapons. You're gonna guard a whole bunch. Actually, let me get away. Oh, nope, nope, nope. I'm kind of body blocked now. Okay, well. That could have gone worse. It could have gone a little worse. I wanted to get out here in the open and then switch weapons and kick. But it still worked out okay. There's a crystal lizard out here, which... I use this crystal lizard as a landmark to find this hidden balcony. This illusory balcony. Which, to my knowledge, is the first time they've ever done that trick. Because illusory walls, they're kind of old hat now. You see a really suspicious blank-looking wall and you just go, yeah, that looks like I could probably roll into that or strike it. But that balcony, I'm sure, gets a lot of people. There's some illusory stuff later that I do not like. So this is the other side of the gate from the beginning of Irithyll. With the gibbering evangelist. This is a unique evangelist. Her name is Dorothy. Dorothy? No, wait. That doesn't sound right. Doris. And even though she doesn't behave uniquely, she has a unique drop on her. On top of being right next to a shortcut. You get Doris's gnawing from her, which is a unique version of the gnaw sorcery. Miracle of Doris is a ranged evangelist. Summons great insect swarms to feast on foes. Those who linger too long on the brink of the deep will often slip. Doris is sure to have wallowed in this darkness, intoxicated by its peril. An allusion to the corrupting nature of the deep. And it's just, it's one more thing that references tiny little biting insects. We've had a couple of weapons crop up now that say that the blades are brittle or something along those lines because it looks like they've been eaten away at by tiny insects. We have the two gnawing spells that reference like these insect swarms. And the big one that we've yet to resolve is Irina of Karim, talking about how like there are these almost imperceptibly small insects nibbling at her flesh. So just something curious to think about there. I would like those in the main square up ahead to start patrolling, but I think that will only happen if I get too close. And we're not going to take the direct approach into that area, because that's very dangerous. There's a pack of like 4 of them. It's one of the witches, like this one, flanked by 3 Ponef Knights, I think. There's one patrolling around and then 2 are directly flanking it. I popped the coin because I want the extra item discovery, because I really would like the Fire Witches to drop their gear. They can drop their full armor set, which looks radical. and they could drop their item, which is called the Immolation Tinder. And all of those happen to have some pretty illuminating item descriptions, so we want that stuff. And they're wandering away, so that leaves us free to explore the square. Not gonna go and bother going after them. There's another illusory wall here. The reason I'm not going after them is because 3-on-1 with those enemies is a nasty gamble. I don't want to fight them 3-on-1. And it's kind of hard to pick them apart and draw them off on their own. That and the Fire Witch has an attack that kind of goes through walls. So we'll let them go. Find another way to farm them. Actually, from this bonfire, I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to do that. And there's also Henri over here. She made her way from the catacombs.
Oh, I thought it might be you. Good to see you. I never managed to find Horace. But my duty must be done, even alone, as an unkindled Lord Seeker. For the children I knew, bless their souls. We all have our reasons, don't we? Please, take this. Recompense for my foolish request. And also a token of protection. May the flames guide your way. Ah, you are brave indeed. To face your duty alone. I would do well to learn from you. May the flames guide your way. Ah, you are brave.
Remember how Yuria said she had an agent watching over Henri? Well, in fact, that agent is in this room, disguised with chameleon.
Oh, my. You are. But I'm afraid we require more time. As long as it takes a dark droplet to fall, that is all. Our gracious Lord. Oh, but...
We're gonna leave Yuria's agent alone and let her do her thing, because if you kill that pilgrim, you have very, very different end to Henri's questline, which has some pretty big ramifications. This room is completely empty for now, but just kind of hold it in the back of your head. So we're going to see it later. So I am going to go ahead and go farm for the Fire Witch stuff, and I will be back with those item descriptions whenever they decide to drop all that stuff. That was... see, that was... yeah, almost exactly an hour and a half. And I did the math. The drop rate for the leggings I got was 0.58%. It's the best part of the whole armor set. It's the one that I really wanted. Armor of witches who bore the Profaned Flame, now harrowed spirits of Irithyll. The witches who led the Pontiff's Knights were originally ordained as holy knights. It was not long, however, before their hearts were swallowed by the Profaned Flame. And I also got the Immolation Tinder. Well, I got 11 of them. More on that in a moment. Profaned Flame, wielded by the Irithyllian witches, frigid spirits roaming the Boreal Valley. This torch, both a weapon and staff, is enshrouded in an everlasting flame. What dropped while I was farming? What part of their armor sets? Well, I got 11 immolation torches, I got 8 hats, 8 chest pieces, and 9 gloves. I got 1 pair of pants in that whole time. And this is the best looking part of the set. It's the one I really wanted. It's got the dope, like, little battle skirt with the metal legs. Whatever, I'm looking so good now. It's worth it. It's worth the hour and a half of my life for my virtual man to look this good. Fuck. It's okay, it can't hurt me anymore. And what appears to be kind of a random Corbian thread I'd want over here. And Creighton is a bit salty that we one-shotted him with Sacred Flame earlier, so we're gonna fight him straight up this time. We're gonna give him the fair rematch that he wants. Oh, damn it. Wow, how did that do nothing? Oh, right, 3 hits on that, right. That's, I think, part of the thing for the Sacred Flame bug, is it's giant weapons with those big 3-hit counterattack, not counterattack, riposte animations. This dude just chugged some Sunny D in my face, and I let it happen. Never again, never again. Goodbye, Creighton. Fuck off. He has Dragon Slayer's Axe, which sounds pretty important. All the description really tells us is that it's imbued with lightning. It's not terribly illuminating as far as lore goes. But let's talk about the Profaned Flame a little bit. They, where to start with this? Because there's a lot going on with the connection that we just drew upon. This time they're explicitly referencing the Profaned Flame, whereas some of the stuff from Carthus referenced it implicitly. And we got a couple of new key pieces of information on it. One, we have some connective tissue to tie the Black Flame that Wolner found to Irithyll, the Profaned Capital, the goings-on of the Cathedral of the Deep with the Pontiffs and Aldrich, and... oh, by the way, check the skulls of the dogs out. They're big, gaping-mouthed, human faces and skulls that look a little bit like the ghosts around here. So... the big thing that we now know is that the Profaned Flame, and later items will confirm this even more concretely, it's an everlasting flame. Holy shit, this room. This room looks really scary at first, but then you wander down and... apparently people still had a really hard time with it because there's a lot of bloodstains down here, but a lot of the ghosts down here are just their torsos dragging themselves around and lashing out. The Profaned Flame is a never-ending flame. And while the Chaos Flame expired and all the demons died and the first flame is on the verge of expiring, this one will last forever. But it's got some horrible, dark, corrupting influence. And it's considered taboo. It's an unnatural thing that transcends the cycle, and it probably shouldn't exist. It shouldn't even be able to exist. And yet, it demonstrates that there is more than just linking the fire or letting it go out and bringing in the Age of Dark. There is something else. There's another option. But it's dark and unnatural and corrupting. It swallows the hearts of people who come in contact with it. So it's a thing profaned. And there's a lot more that we're going to learn about it. We have Yorm yet to go still. We have the Profaned Capital ahead of us. So we'll be seeing more about the Profaned Flame, but I just want to give you one more thing to chew on. One more thing. There's the first flame, right? Then there's the Chaos Flame, which was created when the Witch of Izalith tried to use her soul to duplicate the first flame, because it was on the verge of going out. And that process created the Chaos Flame and the Bed of Chaos that birthed all of the demons. The Chaos Flame was this aberrant, unnatural thing, and its creation is remembered as a grave sin. If you make the Chaos Flame by trying to replicate the first flame with the Witch's Lord Soul, what kind of soul do you have to use to create an ever-burning black flame? And while I'm playing coy, I'll add this. Bonfires take humanity as kindling. This treasure gifted to Yorshka, the Yorshka church is enchanted by a soporific spell and was surreptitiously worshipped by Irithyll's slaves. As a weapon, it's part spear and part hammer, the former allowing thrusting, the latter allowing strikes. That's what those ghosts are. They're the apparitions of the slaves of Irithyll. Yeesh. Ah, man. Had to interrupt that thought. Right, the bonfires take humanity as kindling. It was true in Dark Souls 1, and it was true in Dark Souls 2. You stoke the flames of the bonfires by using humanity and human effigies. The fire feeds on humanity. And humanity comes from shards of the Dark Soul. The Profaned Flame is black and just so happens to burn indefinitely with no need for fuel. All conjecture, all speculation, but let's see how some of the things I'm getting at hold up. Let's see. These invisible enemies, the screaming that goes on here, and some of the stuff we're coming up to. Like I said before, this place is picturesque, but this gorgeous environment belies what is one of the scariest zones in the game, I think. Oh shit. It's the zone that reminded me when I first played it. Oh right, Dark Souls is a horror series as much as it is an action RPG series. I don't know if I became numb to it, or if the previous zones were just genuinely not very horrifying. But, let this speak for itself. Nah, ignore what you thought you just saw. That was nothing. That wasn't anything. Just ignore that. Like, there's plenty of disturbing stuff around the game and imagery and all that, but this zone kicks you in the fucking jaw and reminds you. Oh. Really not a huge fan of what's coming up. We kind of got the drop on one thing for the big plunging attack. You can kind of see the corpse of another submerged under the water. The ones that are above water. Well, let's hit it. Fuck. Nope. Still don't deal with these very well. I don't like it. I don't like it. This zone contains some very real nightmare fuel. And when I say that, like, you have to understand that nightmare fuel as a phrase kind of just became this synonym for spooky. Much the same way that epic got watered down to just mean cool a while back. When I say nightmare fuel, I mean those things appeared in my nightmares. Like these Kayako Juon the Grudge centipedes. Oh, I hate them so much. Also, the reason I was saying that you don't want to run away from the big doggy on the bridge from earlier is because if you run away from him, he'll disappear. And that's cool for the moment, but then he ambushes you down here, where it's hard to roll good and you're surrounded by horrifying grudge centipede ladies. It's like someone... Oh, God. I had a bug once where these things were clipping through the ceiling and it looked like they were crawling around on the ceiling. God, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Burn it. It's like someone bred a giant centipede and just sewed Hisako's head onto it. You know what absolutely kills me about them is the thin, spindly limbs. You could make them immediately more palatable or less horrifying to me if you just fatten those limbs, but no. the worst. It's the worst. The fucking Kayako sewer centipedes. Like, I'm not a terribly big fan of house centipedes. I wouldn't consider myself much of like an insectophobe or an arachnophobe. But holy shit, I hate centipedes so much. God, I fucking hate this level. I love it, but I hate it. Alright, let's Tokyo drift around some of these. Did we only get 2? Oh, we didn't even finish the second one. Oh, it might be for the best. The betterest. And just smash. Excuse me? No damage? 0? That little, huh? Okay. Whatever, we're done with that shit now. Speaking of shit, excrement-covered ashes. Because of course. We got a bunch of dung pies in a sewer, and we got shit-smeared ashes. Perfect. Cherry on top of... unclean umbral ash coated with excrement. Perhaps it's possible the handmaid of Firelink Shrine could turn this into a few nice things. Oh, to savor the sweet pungency, but once more. That was a gross icon for that. Hey, Estes Soup and Sigmire. That's how Sigmire made it out of the well. That's why he needed his armor. It wasn't to climb out of the well. It was to fight his way through the sewer centipedes.
Excuse me, I must have dozed off. It's rather warm in here. Well, hasn't it been all too long? It's good to see you. Oh, I seem to have missed my chance, so I, Siegward of Katarina, offer my deepest gratitude. And a little surprise to go with it. It's all yours. I know. Won't you join me for dinner? I make a fine Estes soup. I've got some stewing right now. Even we undead deserve a little normalcy from time to time. And finally, upon this rendezvous, let us make a toast. To your valor, my sword, and our sworn duties. Long may the sun shine. Have you heard? Somewhere, hidden right here in Irithyll, is a deep dungeon. And even below that, the profaned capital, home of Yhorm, the reclusive giant lord. That reminds me, I've a grave promise to keep. Oh, sorry. I'm afraid I've cast a cloud over things. Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap. The only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
Sigurd fights his way through all these sewer centipedes, and then gets here and gets drunk and makes soup, and then passes out by the fire. He leads an awesome life. That's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.